I have been coming to New Hope for about 6 years. I was a ninja attender, though, for many years.
We've been coming to New Hope since 2019.
I've been coming to New Hope since 2005.
I would sneak in and sneak out. I had a lot of healing to do.
I grew up in the church. My mom worked in the church. She was the church secretary. I was the black sheep, right, of my family. I mean, there was drugs, there was alcohol, there was violence.
I did not grow up in the church. I knew about Jesus, and it was a Christian household, but actually physically going into a church building, not so much.
I don't know when I first met Jesus because I feel like I've always known him.
I met Jesus, let's see, let's backtrack a little bit.
Well, I went through a divorce, and I was in the most pain that I've never experienced before. And I felt like I had done it all right. And how could a God that I had dedicated my life to allow something like this to happen?
After having a child, I thought, somebody outside of myself that I love so very much, I don't ever want to be separated from him. And the only way to make that happen was to be a follower and to have him obviously grow up in that faith too. And I knew that I wanted that.
I would say that the people that I hung out with, probably the older crowd, probably led me to addiction. And then from then on, it just kind of escalated into using more and more and exploring the different drugs out there.
I started turning towards anyone or anything that could just numb my pain, that could make me feel not so like I was just in a dark place.
I think I was just doing it for the feeling of just the adrenaline, maybe.
I was dating people I should never have been dating, looking for affirmation, drinking too much. I was smoking, doing all the things that I was raised to know I shouldn't do those things. I don't think it was a consciously rebellious attitude. It was more of a, how can I just get through today? You know, as a newly single mom, like, how do I do this? And I think even grieving the loss of what I thought my life was going to be.
So we had our son, and I got laid off of my job. So then when I finally did get to work, you know, it was like, okay, I worked, and 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 I wasn't thinking about God or Jesus or any relationship. It was, okay, the lights, the kid needs to eat, mama needs new shoes, right? Jesus didn't become real to me until our daughter was born.
Always went to church, but I really never had a relationship with Jesus. Deep down inside, I didn't feel like I was accepted there, kind of, because I was going to church, high or something, high, and just not letting it, resonate with me. So I just liked that life, that fast life, didn't care attitude, and just I would be stealing from my family, my friends, and manipulate them and just get whatever I needed to get from them to get that next high,
So March 31st, Ro went to the hospital with pneumonia. And the next day, Reagan, our daughter, she was 3, and she went to the hospital, a different hospital with pneumonia. They didn't know she was going to make it through the night. And the next day, they had to put her in a coma. And I just remember feeling so helpless. As a dad, you're the provider, you're the protector, right? But in this case, it was nobody that I could beat up.
Well, it took 17 years of drugs to finally grasp that I needed some help. So
I didn't know if I could trust God. That's when I started coming to New Hope.
I finally made that decision to, start looking for a way out, and that's what led me to Jesus.
I remember calling my dad that night, and I was the black sheep, right? So I said, Dad, hey, I need you to come home. My dad was there the next day. I called him at nighttime, and he was there the next morning.
It wasn't easy to walk in the doors. That's why I would show up late, and I would like dodge eye contact, you know. But I kept coming. I'd like to say that I woke up and all of a sudden, like, poof, everything was like immediately overnight different. But it's just been that little by little, I think, because Jesus has just been so gentle with me.
Many trials of jail, just getting on my hands and knees and asking for help. That's what it took, you know, and it was not easy by any means, but yesterday was my 6-year anniversary for sobriety, so no drinking, no smoking, nothing, you know.
She ended up being in the hospital for a whole month of April. They ended up having to take out a part of her lung.
That part was dying, so immediately when they cut that part of her lung, the rest of her lung pinkened up.
He became so real to me. He was working.
Every day I talk to Jesus and just thank him for my sobriety. Read my daily devotional every day that I got when I got baptized here at New Hope. Talk to him about, you know, my problems and, you know, and try to get through it with him. So he's my main guy. Yep.
I was in a pit, like a big old dark, muddy pit. Jesus was in the pit with me. Like, that's kind of what it means that he came to earth, is like he didn't want me to be in the pit alone.
It didn't make you weak to ask for help, to ask for Jesus to come into your life.
It's like night and day for me, like living is totally different now.
There's nothing to be afraid of with Jesus.
No matter what lie someone has said to you or you've told yourself, he cherishes you enough to say there's no barrier there.
You know, we can just come to him just like we are. Some of us were a hot mess. So I just feel like I am a person of hope, new beginnings, and yeah, new hope.